Hi everyone, today I'm opening the Artsnacks Plus box for the month of July. So in this month's box, we have a Grumbacher mixed media hidden wire sketchbook. So it's a hardcover, and you see that there's wire, and you also have perforation on the pages, so you can remove them if you want to. So they seem to be double-sided. It's on the reverse, it's a little smoother than on the top part, and oh, this is crooked. Anyway, and so it's pretty thin. It doesn't give the weight of the paper, but it's pretty thin. I don't think it's even 90 pounds. I don't know, I kind of feel like it's cheaply made when you look at everything that's glued on. It's all crooked, and this is crooked too. But here, maybe this will tell us. Let's see. I'm guessing that's what this is. Mixed media. It's 90 pounds. Maybe it is. It just feels very thin. So with this, we have some Smarties. We have a Molotow masking liquid pump marker. Those are great. I have a couple with different sizes. So you shake it really well till it's mixed nicely, and then you just prime it by pushing the tip. So this is what we're getting with the Artsnacks Plus box, the sketchbook and the masking fluid. So if it's masking fluid, I'm guessing we're going to get watercolor, because usually that's what you use masking fluid with. Let's see. If we're getting watercolor, there's no brushes in it because it's not long enough. Let's find out. We've had so many brushes in previous boxes that it doesn't really matter. Oh, look at this. I wonder if they're Gansai Tambi, although I've never seen these colors before. Well, let's see. It is Kuretake Gansai Tambi watercolor pans. These are, for those of you who aren't familiar with these, they're pretty opaque watercolors. We get a Plum Chester. Is that a new one? I think it might be. It's a size 8. A P8, so it's pretty thick, but although I don't know, kind of looks like a 05 to me, but we shall try. Oh, nice. These are great. This is a Daniels Smith watercolor stick, so you can use it. You can just use it as a crayon, but it's water soluble. You can also shave some in a palette and mix it with water and get a wash like that. So this color here is Organic Vermilion. And finally, we do actually have a brush, and it's another Kuretake. If I can figure out how to open this one. So it's a water brush, and it's a tiny travel one. Look at this. I've never seen one like this before. Wow, I guess you just fill this up. This will be very easy to fill up like that. There is no lid. It says, do not carry around while filled with water. So once you're done using it, you empty it. If you can open it. Ooh. There you go. And then you put this back in. That's really cool. I have a bunch of brush too by Zig, Kuretake Zig, and they're really good. I like them. So this is really cool. I like this format. For the colors of the watercolor here, I've got olive green and a mystery color. I don't have the name of this one. Some pretty blue. But I'm surprised because I have the whole palette of them and these aren't in there. Let's see. Oh, never mind. Although, no, it doesn't look the same. This is lighter. And I have to compare them. Yeah, I'll compare these to see if they're the same. I don't think so, but I might be wrong. So this is a nice little box. I'm usually not very fond of the Grumbacher paper, but that's alright. It's for mixed media, it's fine. For watercolor, probably not as good. But it should be fine for testing these guys. Oh, great. Look at this. It says here 90 pounds. My bad. Anyway, stick around while I swatch these supplies and figure out what to draw with them. I was a little worried about the Grumbacher sketchbook because the description on the Artsnacks menu says that the paper is ideal for dry media and light washes. And when I use watercolor, I usually like to use several layers and sometimes do some wet on wet layers. But you know, I thought let's give it a shot and we'll see what happens. It turns out that the sketchbook is pretty neat actually. It has a lot of cool features. One of them is the in and out pages, so you can actually remove the pages from the sketchbook and then put them back in once you're done creating your piece of art. And if you decide to not reinsert the page, you can always remove the pieces that goes back in the spiral because there's the perforation and you can have a nice flat edge instead. So the sketchbook has 40 sheets, which is a pretty fair amount. And I'm glad that you can actually, even though you have a hard cover, you can actually flip the cover around and work like that. So that's what I did for my swatches. It was super easy to put the water in the brush and just go right in the pan and lift up some pigments to put on the paper. So I tried to compare the colors with my set. For the blue, it's two different numbers, so I've got a number 69. The one in my set is a number 61. So I knew right away it was not going to be the same, and when I swatched it, I found that it was true. The one that I already have has a little bit more red to it. It's a little bit more violet, I guess. That means I have an extra color now, which is really nice. As far as the olive green is concerned, it seems like they're both the same number 54. I decided to swatch them anyway because they kind of look like they had a slight difference, but it could be that one is older than the other one. It's a beautiful green. I really like it. And when I tried the one on my palette, I found that it has slightly more blue. I'm not sure if you can see in the video, but they're slightly different. So it could be that the batches aren't consistent and some have a little bit more of one pigment than others. I'm not sure, but right now that means that I have two pans with slightly different colors. I don't know if it's going to be useful or not, but they're beautiful greens, so I really don't mind. And for the Daniels Smith watercolor stick, it really goes a long way. You have a very nice payload. I didn't care too much about putting the pigment on the paper and then spreading it because it's not as soft as a crayon. It doesn't really spread very much on the paper. However, it dissolves very easily, very nicely. But I really like just getting the pigment straight on my brush. For the Molotow masking fluid, so we received a 2mm marker. I already had that one and I also have the 4mm. I thought it was nice to have two different sizes. So I didn't use the new one. I'm just saving it for later. I'm saving the tip. So for the tip, it's like a regular pump marker. You can pull it out if it's getting frayed and then flip it and use the other end. And then I'm sure you can replace them even if you use another brand or something. So I hadn't used mine in a long time and you could tell that the masking fluid that's usually blue was separating. I'm not sure what causes that. It could just be the dye in there because I think masking fluid originally is just white, and they just put a little blue dye so that you see where you put it. That's my guess. But like with any liquid art supplies, you know, it's probably better to just shake them to mix everything nicely together. So that's what I did for quite a while, to make sure that I couldn't see any white anywhere. And then I tried it on my paper, and I'm glad to see that after not using it for so long, it still works really well, even if you put just a little thin layer of it. And the Plumchester fine liner is really nice. It is a 0.8mm, and it's the new size available. It's waterproof, and you can actually do several widths with it because the tip is pretty hard. You can just push a little bit more, make it broader. You can just use the edge of it and make a very fine line. So it's pretty versatile, actually. When I was done swatching the colors, I decided to mix them to see if I could make other colors with the 3 colors that I already got. And I think they made a really nice secondary colors. I also went over my masking fluid swatches, and I put a wash over it just to make sure that it still worked. I let it dry, and then I used my rubber cement to remove it, because since I had put a very light layer, I couldn't remove it just with my finger, just rubbing my finger. So that's when the rubber cement comes in handy. The brush works really well, but it's very easy to fill up. The bristles are nice, and they're very pointy, so you can really do nice details, except for the first time when the bristles are dry. You squeeze it a little bit and then the water comes out. But I found that the fact that there's really not like some kind of filter, or I'm not sure what they use in regular water brushes that actually regulates the flow of the water. I don't think this one has it, so it seems like there's always water coming out once you put the bristles on the paper, and I found that a bit harder to control than with the regular water brushes. In the end, I got used to it, but I was always having to pat my brush down to make sure I didn't have too much water on my paper. I must say that the Grumbacher paper was pretty nice. It's a bit too thin for my liking when I use watercolors, but it took it very well, and I think it's pretty accurate to say that it takes light washes. I wanted to do more than light washes with this challenge, so I cheated a little bit. I used the Rembrandt watercolor block that I got in another Artsnacks box, so it was not cheating all the way, I guess. And I started by using my Plumchester mechanical pencil to draw my sketch on it. And it was funny this time because I've been telling you in the last few months that if I'm not inspired by the colors that I have or the supplies that I have, I asked my daughter what she thinks I should make with those colors, and she always gives me really good ideas. And she's quite enjoying the fact that I mentioned that in my videos. So this time when she saw that I received my box, she just asked me right away, so what colors do you have? Let me see if I can help you. So that was really cool. She did. She mentioned doing a cactus because she really liked that green, and I could use the red for some sand or something. And as soon as she said the word cactus with that blue also, I thought about prickly pears or a succulent or something. And so that's what I came up with. Another great inspiration from my very creative muse. So it was really fun to do this. I used the masking fluid on the cactus itself. I figured the tip might be a little too thick, but it's more of an illustration than a realistic painting. So I thought it was going to be okay. I thought the pot was just too plain, so I first thickened the black line, and then when I was done with the cactus, I still thought that it was too plain. So then I added those little roses on it to decorate it, and I liked that. But then I thought, then now I have a pot with very thick lines, and the cactus had still the thin lines, and it was a bit off balance, I guess. But I didn't want to add too many thick lines on it because I thought it looked, just the cactus itself looked good that way. So I just added a little bit of thick lines here and there, not too much. I think it turned out okay. And then I realized once I was done shooting the video that I forgot to put some black lines on the smaller part of the cactus, so I did it later off camera. So it is done, and you can see it on my Instagram account. I took a picture of it all finished. So all in all, I thought it was a great box, even though I already had the Molotow masking fluid. I don't believe I got one from any boxes, so that's fine. I don't think there was any repeats in this box, which is awesome, finally. I'm so glad that the two Kuretake colors are different than what I already have. So yeah, I think it was a great box. It was a lot of fun. I really love the colors that I got, and I'm glad I cheated and used another paper that was a bit thicker. So if you get an Artsnacks box, let me know what colors you get and what you thought of all the supplies this month. Thank you all for stopping by. I hope you liked this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. And if you're brand new here, please consider subscribing to this channel. Have a wonderful day, everyone. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.